Sign, I'll tell you who built it. Those are hard to find. I'm going to start collecting those signs. So Farscape Academy Inspector Training. We're here in Concord, New Hampshire. We just did a Farscape seminar, and we're here watching Farscapes. We got Ken here, one of the inspectors, one of the fire officials for the city of Concord, New Hampshire. So must be structurally sound, must be kept painted, and you have to be able to...
I'm looking at that.
I mean, what is it? Is it for the hammer? You know, can we bring it down? Let's look for a release arm. It's got a release arm. See that release arm? And
I do.
But is it functioning? No.
It doesn't look like it. It's got caution tape.
It's not resting. It doesn't want to go up. But even if it could, so now you have a problem. And that is a lot of times, you know, how far up can they come? And they can't. I mean, aside from blocking violations, I don't know if there's a parking thing, but you're literally going to lose 2 parking spaces here, or make this small compact car only. Yeah. And a lot of times it's a bollard. And that bollard needs to be right here. One bollard in the back of this one bollard, and this is like almost a motorcycle place only. Yeah. And or these two could be a side version of a car this way. But you can't block the way they doing it here. They're blocking the door. Look at this situation. This blocks, so with that being the case, we already have one piece that we need to discuss here with the building. So, but let's step back and ask, must be kept painted? How long has this been not painted in your estimation?
Well, like you said in the class, you know, if the exterior of the metal is pretty much all rusty, it's probably at least 25 years.
Correct. Original hardware now, let's talk about that.
It looks like they've replaced some bolts on a few of the steps.
Otherwise, what do we got?
But pretty much all original.
All original. So this structure, which is 50, 75, possibly 100 years old, they've changed the windows. They've changed the windows. They've probably done something to the roof. Have they, in your estimation, have they spent 1 nickel in maintenance on this fire escape?
Looks like very little, if anything.
Right.
In a long time.
This came in after. This looks like a new construction to hold that pivot. It looked like that pivot was not properly supported, and they weren't sure, so they built this contraption underneath it. But when you look at the gussets, you know what I'm saying? When you start looking at what's holding this thing up, it's all original hardware. Look at all these connections, square head bolts. When you look behind here, what do you got?
Oh yeah, you got a lot of rust.
A lot of rust in here. So who's going to tell you whether this is good or bad?
Oh, we're going to get an engineer to do that.
So that structural engineer or that farscape engineer is going to come in here and satisfy you, because if he doesn't satisfy you, what do you want done on this thing? If somebody says, I'm just going to spot repair it, I'm just going to paint it and call it a day.
Then you have to get a load test.
Then I want a load test, right? And you want to be here for that load test?
Well, how about over there?
Over there, a little bit away. Because you got.
Behind you, Ken.
So on each platform, just to give you an example, Ken, is that 3 feet out? And is that 40 feet long, plus minus? Just that platform there.
Yeah.
3 feet out, 40 feet long. 4 times 3 is 12. I mean, 40 times 3 is 120. 120 times 120 square feet times 100 pounds per square feet. It means I need to put up there 12,000 pounds. You know what 12,000 pounds looks like on this building when it passes?
Oh, that vehicle and this vehicle.
No, that's when it fails.
Oh.
That's what happens when it does fail. But 12,000 pounds, I got to put it on there and wait, and then I got to move 12,000 pounds to the next platform, and then I got to move 12,000 pounds to the next platform. It's actually more because I'm only counting 40 feet. Then when I'm all done with that, again, I got to load all the treads. The entire staircase is a calculation of so many thousands of pounds. You know how long that takes?
Long time.
Long time. I got to move weights around. Does that buy any bolts or buy any paint for this client?
Oh yeah.
No, load test. Does it buy any bolts or any paint?
Oh, the load test? No.
So it's kind of a waste of money.
It is.
They should use that for refurbishment. But should they go into the point where they say, no, I'm just going to spot repair a few things. What do you want after that? So refurbishment is the only thing that's going to make you happy, right?
Well, that's probably the best option for you.
Is there any other option that, I mean, you went into class? Let's see if we can come up with another option.
Well,
You want an opinion letter?
No.
No,
it's either load test or...
Which is a guarantee.
Right. Or
a load test.
Or refurbish.
Refurbish is another guarantee, isn't it? Because if we refurbish and put all these brand new bolts and all these connectors into the building from Hilti, and something horribly goes wrong, who do we sue? You go after the bolt company. So in a load test, they can't sue me, the engineer. They can't sue you, the city. They can't sue the owner because they did everything feasible that can be done. But then in a refurbishment, we've done everything feasibly that can be done. Can you do anything else other than change all the bolts and then duplicate the connections back into the building? So that's another guarantee in lieu of a load test. Anything else you can come up with?
No,
so that's it.
That's about it.
That's about it, because you're trying to limit the liability for the city.
Of course.
And the code is very clear. Load test it. It starts with load test. It doesn't start with repair it and maybe a load test. It says, you satisfy me because you did a load test, or you gave me other satisfactory reason that the material strength of the fire escape is good.
Yeah.
So they've been giving you for 75 years, in lieu of a load test, they've been giving you opinion letters. Is that any longer acceptable by you?
No, I mean, the code doesn't allow for opinion.
No, but they have been for 75 years.
Well, they have been given them.
They may be in the jacket. You may find in the jacket a letter from a structural engineer that says, to the best of my information, knowledge, and belief, a single-page document, this fire escape is structurally sound and has been kept painted. That's called an opinion letter.
Right.
Will you accept those anymore?
Well, no.
Especially on this fire escape that's old.
Well, yeah, that's very old.
So load test it or refurbish it.
Yeah.
Let's walk down here. There's another one right down here.
Yeah.
And for some reason, it looks like it's in the same condition. So can not that you want to, but can you inspect these fire escapes from your vehicle by rolling down the window and write violations on them?
No.
Oh, okay, I'm missing something.
Is this an active building to your knowledge?
Yep.
Is this a life safety issue?
Well, they have two, I know in this building they have two separate staircases internally.
Okay. So let's talk about that. That does happen. Somebody comes in and says, "Man, I'm going to make $1 million off this building. I'm going to gut the inside. I'm going to make some apartments. I'm going to give you what you need: sprinkler systems, alarms, smokes, and 2 internal stairs."
Right.
And why is this still here?
Yeah.
So use it or lose it. Now, if it's going to stay here for whatever reason, then sometimes the hysterical committee steps in. You ain't taking this off. It's part of the character of the building, and it's got to stay. Does this then need to be fully refurbished and load tested?
Well, if it's there, it should be functional and operational.
Right. So right now, if there's 2 mean stairs inside, sprinkler systems and everything, you need signage on this for 2 people. Signage for the occupants that live in the buildings. They never go outside on this fire escape, ever. So that means that even though you got windows, I need physical grates on the inside of my apartment that stop me from foolishly going out on this fire escape.
No, we wouldn't do that.
Well, use it or lose it.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is you wouldn't bar the windows because we could still put ladders up.
Okay, so then so if they're going to keep this, what I'm saying, if they're going to keep this fire escape, they must load test it and keep it fully functional all the way to the ground. They say no, we don't want to. Then you say then you got to get it removed, so that at no time do my firemen jump on this rickety old thing, or the occupants don't mistakenly think they have another way out.
Yeah.
And if they say, well, we're not decided yet whether or not we're going to remove this, you say, great, then I want you to block the access from the inside with some sort of grate, a railing of some sort that stops the occupants from getting out the window to a bad fire escape that everybody knows. And you need signage on here that says that placard up there would say, don't get on the fire escape. A big sign for your guys that when they get here, do not get on the fire escape. And all stories would have that placard on it. Do not unsafe structure. And then if they're going to fix it in 3 to 5 years, great, but nobody will ever get on it. Right. The tenants are blocked from getting at it. They still get their sunshine, but they're blocked. And your firemen are never going to get hurt or killed on this thing. Yeah. With that being the case, let's take this into another case study. This is a building that does need this fire escape. What's your problem here?
It's a little on the short side.
It's a little on the short side.
And
Cantilever got removed.
Definitely needs to be refurbished.
Refurbished, you need a new staircase. Let's take a look at this. This is great when it's this far down. original and square head bolts. It's riveted or squares?
Oh, it's all square.
It's all square.
And the hinge part is riveted.
Yeah. So you've got something at least 75 years old, right? And it's tying into the building. It properly cemented into the building. What from this side? Ken?
Look, some holes on this side.
So is the connection into the wall suspect now?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Up there in that corner, you see that corner in there?
And even up here, you can see it's pulling and heaving the bricks.
Yep, pulling. That's from a rust jacking or ice jacking. Let's look up now. In a 50 to 75 year life, and they spent some millions of dollars refurbishing this building to get some rents, and they either sold it as condos or as rentals, right? So they spent.
It's rentals.
Okay, so they spent some good money on this building. New windows, right? Does it look like they spent one nickel on any one of these threads?
Oh, yeah.
Right? So you have, and they probably removed this lower part so that kids wouldn't break in and into the building. So there's several reasons why they do these things, but now the question is, use it or lose it. So every connection is compromised because they let it rust this far. The connections into the building, the water's getting into every building. You got rust stains into everywhere that the fire escape is at. There's rust stains indicating that water has gotten in. You know, bricks have spalled because of the amount of ice jacking and rust jacking. And this is typical. We haven't seen one fire escape that you've passed so far.
Oh, no.
So this fire escape, if this was an active fire escape and you needed it, yellow or red?
Oh, this is definitely.
This is the red. What would that one be? Yellow or red?
Red.
Red. That one way down there, all the ones that we came out of.
Oh, they don't be red.
They'll all be red. So your main thing as you start getting into this, it's not going to be the brightest walkthrough. You have to start getting ready to say, I got yellows and reds. I'm going to find a lot of reds. Let's get those immediately addressed. And the address doesn't mean fix it. The address doesn't mean automatically fix it. It means get it signed. Get it aware so that people are not going to jump on this. So the awareness that it's a red is key. Then you start getting into the second. So let's take this one as an example. If this was an active building and this was used on any building, and the guy says, oh my God, by the time I buy a staircase and do all these things, you know, and he gives you all the runaround of why, and this is the only second means of egress out of any building.
Well, then you have to, you can't occupy
Then
this.
so that's one choice. You can vacate the building till such time that this does come into play, or you can put a fire watch 24/7, right? If it meets your standard.
Yeah, but I still don't think.
I'm going to give you another answer to it though, but you know, that's one, right? Fire watch, vacate the building, and you're going to get an uproar. This guy's the cousin to the mayor or something, you know, you're like, but here's the final. Do you have scaffolding companies in this area? Oh yeah. Do you think I got room right here for a scaffolding company to come in and create a tower all the way up and pick up this entire fire escape system with a new stair tower? Scaffolding, rented, $1,000 a month, $2,000 a month, whatever it may be. Can you put some temporary scaffolding here that is the rise and run is 7-Eleven inside. It's a
right. Yeah, I mean, if they had that available, yeah.
Well, everybody has it available, but this guy's giving you a hard time.
Yeah.
So can you order scaffolding that he's going to pay for anyway?
Yeah.
That gives the occupants a way to get out. Maybe this is a building that's full of, elderly people, or it's not one of those buildings you can readily just vacate. You're like, dude, I'm ordering scaffolding. And they're going to secure the situation until this matter gets resolved. You got a big bill here right now. But in the meantime, while you're dicking around, you're dragging back and forth, I'm ordering a tower put in that you're paying for. And that'll take as long as you want to resolve it. And it ain't going to be much time that I'm going to give you. But now we got a little breathing room, because now I can basically get my people onto the building and into the building, and I can get you people out of the building because they're all going to come out on this window, for example, and that's easily secured with the scaffolding. So scaffolding is your answer. Whenever somebody gives you a hard time, it's a temporary stair to satisfy any means of egress you need.
Yeah.
And they pay.
Yeah, because I mean, it has the proper stairs
and railings and protection.
The toe boards.
So that's what you say when somebody wants to waste time and throw you out to court and throw lawyers at you. You say, I'm going to vacate your building. I'm going to put a fire watch, or I'm going to order scaffolding. And then we got all the time in the world because you're paying $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 a month for the scaffolding. Yeah. So just keep that in mind. That's a quick answer for means of egress.
there isn't anything else back that way. That's back to Main Street. Okay, I mean, we can go this way.
Okay.
Because, I mean,
Perfect.
basically,